Good afternoon and welcome to this reflection from the East Clevedon United Benefice for the 18th of July 2021. We're looking today at the Gospel reading from Mark's Gospel, chapter 6, verses 30 to 34 and 53 to 56. I'm entitling this "Come Away to a Quiet Place" because on reading this gospel it struck me of the busyness of everybody, the hurly-burly that was around them, the exhaustion they were all feeling. It shows Jesus towards the height of his popularity and ministry. Everywhere he and his disciples went, they were followed by desperate people eager to hear their teaching and to receive healing. The disciples and Jesus had no rest, no peace, no privacy, or even time to eat. But we know that crowd that was making him so popular at the time is easily turned. This was clearly illustrated for us last weekend. A young man who had been lauded for his good work in feeding school children was bitterly turned on for missing a penalty. This time it was his colour as well as the missing penalty that stoked such awful racist remarks. The mob had turned. Of course, racism has no part to play in Christianity and no part to play really in the United Kingdom of today. But this episode shows that not a lot have changed. The player replied with dignity and said he would accept criticism for his footballing skills. And he had missed a penalty, but he was proud of who he was and where he had come from. We know that Jesus faced criticism from his hometown as well as from other religious leaders, and we hear that he and his disciples faced exhaustion while they were so popular. Did Jesus ever feel doubts or concerns about what he said or did? One thing we do know is that he often took himself away to a quiet place. Used that time sometimes for prayer, but perhaps also sometimes just for refreshment and peace. Come away by yourselves, Jesus says. Take time out, stop, breathe, take care of yourselves. The disciples had returned from their missions. They were full of all that they had been doing, the people they had met, the people they had healed. But still the people were coming. And this sense of coming away, look after yourself, reminds us that we need to do the same. We can lose ourselves by being too busy, feeling dragged from pillar to post, feeling that we're always facing demands on our time. Sometimes, though, this is a good exercise in avoiding issues that would come to the fore if we stopped. Sometimes things just build up gradually until we realise that we have been completely overtaken by events. This is one of the reasons why church officers and members of the PCC are encouraged not to stand for office for too long, and why ministers are encouraged to make one day off a week sacrosanct and to take regular holidays. We all need periods of time with ourselves. Perhaps in that stillness we will hear God speak. Perhaps we will speak to him ourselves. But this time out is not about activity. It's not about prescribed prayer, but about stillness, about being aware of ourselves. Be still and know that I am God. God alone can promise us salvation. God is determined to bless us as well as to judge us. And he's always doing something. Something that's new, something that can be different from anything we might ever have expected or planned for ourselves. Be still and know that I am God. So, the inevitable question, how busy are you? Does it stop you taking time away by yourself? Some people I know find their gardens are their lifeline, which is wonderful if that isn't just another reason for being busy. My first action, if I want peace and quiet, is to go away by myself and read. And if I had a bath, all the better. I would be reading in a lovely warm bath. But for me, bed is another option for lying still and reading. However, that activity, however pleasurable, is not really about me being with myself in one sense. It's an occupation of my mind rather than sitting by myself. As a member of the clergy, I will say, however, that whatever time we spend at work, there is always more that needs to be done. More people to visit, more people to call, more forms to fill out, more meetings to go to. And there's always guilt about things left undone, guilt about how we might have upset somebody. But that, I know, can apply to anyone. As a working mother of 3 children with Bob away from Sunday night to Friday night, I was always chasing my tail. That was our reality. We got off that particular roundabout in a rather extreme way by me and the children moving from Wiltshire to Northumberland. Life happens. But in this reading, we are being encouraged to take care of ourselves and not to run away from ourselves. Do we need to be distracted by people, by the noise of television or radio, by being busy? Or can we, for a short while, leave that all behind to get to know ourselves, each ache and pain, the guilts, the doubts, the what will the future hold, the fears and the worries. Just to let everything go and to be. God will bear us in all of those negative thoughts, all of that busyness. He will hold us and support him if we support us if we let him to. Because he loves us. Whatever else is going on, he wants the best for us. Psalm set for today is Psalm 23, which is so familiar to all of us. I will quote the bit that I think speaks a lot to this message. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Amen. May God be with you today and always. Amen.